Hello, my name is Mehdi Faraji, and I'm going to talk about the evolution of ransomware attacks and modern mitigation strategies. So, what is ransomware? Ransomware is one of the most dangerous cyber threats in the world today. It is a type of malware that blocks access to a computer, files, or entire systems, and it demands payment for unlocking them. But ransomware didn't just start as a global cyber weapon, it evolved over several decades into a highly advanced threat that we face today. Understanding this evolution helps us understand how to defend against it. The first known ransomware attack, it happened back in 1989. It was called the Ace Trojan, or people call it PC Cyborg virus. It was very simple. It hid files and it asked the victims to send money by physical mails. It was more of an experiment than a real cyber crime attack because it was easy to remove and there were no strong encryption system being used with it. In the second stage, starting off from 2005, ransomware became more advanced. So cyber criminals, they started using real encryptions to lock files, making it extremely hard or impossible to recover them without a decryption key. The key changes in this area it was that the criminals, they used RSA and they use AES sort of encryptions to encrypt the files. And the attackers, they demanded payments through online payment systems. And ransomware just became more profitable, attracting more criminals. This is the period where ransomware moved from a very simple annoyance to a serious threat. In the third stage, everything was changed. It was the arrival of cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin was there. Criminals could receive payments anonymously. They could attack, receive payments without getting tracked. And back in 2013, we had some very important events. It was the release of CryptoLocker in 2013. It was one of the most destructive ransomware attacks ever. And we also had larger scale infections through email attachments, botnets, and malicious links. And it was the rise of ransomware as a service, where cyber criminals, they sold ransomware tools to anyone. That time, ransomware became an international business. And the stage 4, it was from 2017 up to today. Modern ransomware attacks, they're now a lot more dangerous. They just no longer target individuals. They target hospitals, schools, government networks, big companies, critical infrastructures. And some of the major events that happened a few years back was when the WannaCry attack was happened. It was 2017 and it roughly affected more than 150 countries, shutting down hospitals and transport system. Another attack that took place back in 2017, it was called NotPetya, if I pronounce it correct. It was a series of powerful cyber attacks using the Petya malware that began on 27 June of 2017. It swamped websites of Ukrainian organizations, including banks, ministries, newspapers, and electricity firms. Another type of attack is called double extortion ransomware. Criminals, they steal the data, they encrypt it, and they threaten the target to leak their data if the ransom is not paid. And we have another intriguing fact. We have ransomware groups. Yeah. These groups, they just operate like professional companies. They have support teams, they have negotiators, they have test environments, even a marketing, and they have customer service for victims. That's pretty cool. Let's talk about top 5 active ransomware groups that were tracked on dark web, ranking by the number of claimed ransomware victims. The first group is the Lockbit. So this group actually had 434 victims. The second group that we have here is called the Play. It's also known as the Play Crypt. It had 178 victims. The third group that we have is Ransom Hub. It had 171 victims. And another group we have Black Basta, if I pronounced it correct. It had 130 victims. And we have the 8base, which had 124 victims. So why did ransomware become so successful? There are several reasons, such as cryptocurrencies. They just allow anonymous payments. It's that people can attack and receive the payments without getting tracked. So easy. Companies rely on digital information. They store the data in their networks and systems, which can be easily attacked. Well, not easily, but they have their own tools and methods. There are cyber criminals they can attack from any country. So you're sitting in your house, you're sitting in your company, and you just attack anyone that you want with enough knowledge and information. And we can see and understand that human error is pretty common. One wrong click is gonna infect the whole system, the entire network. So this happens a lot. And we have ransomware is pretty profitable. The attackers, they can just earn millions of dollars in only one night. So the combination of all these factors, they helped ransomware become so successful, and it helped it become a global cyber threat. So what strategies can we actually use to prevent these ransomware attacks to happen? The first and foremost, the most important one is regular data backups. Backups are number one defense. If a company has safe, offline, and updated backups, they can restore everything without paying the ransom. We have a multi-factor authentication. The most ransomware attacks begin with the password theft. MFA blocks more than about 70% of unauthorized access attempts. One example for that is that we have some sort of a SMS code verification that we receive on our phone to log in. That is pretty helpful. It prevents the ransomware attacks too. Prevents unauthorized access. We have network segmentation, network separation. If one part gets infected, the rest can stay safe, which is pretty cool. We have employee training. So a lot of these attacks, they just begin with phishing emails. Teaching employees how to detect those and how to understand those are not valid links, it can help them not click on those links, and it reduces the risks of getting infected dramatically. We have endpoint detection and response system. These EDR tools, they detect unusual activity, they block ransom encryption, and they isolate the infected machines. Another one we have is zero trust security model. This model means no user or no device is automatically trusted. Every access requires some sort of a verification. And the last one we have patch management. Is that updating systems regularly prevents attackers from exploiting weaknesses. The same one that WannaCry was used back in 2017. And thank you for listening.